Hi, I'm Anita of my Duke and I podcast, and if you're seeing the show for the very first time, be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and hit the notification bell so when an episode comes out, you will be the first to know. Um, Also, guys, thank you so much. I noticed in the comment a lot of people were congratulating me on reaching 5,000 subscribers. Truly, if it wasn't for you guys, I would not be doing YouTube as I am doing right now. So I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for, open welcoming me with open arms and you know and allowing me to come through your computers, your phones, your iPads, your laptops, and what have you. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm going to continue to try to make as you know good videos as I possibly can. I like to put my entertaining part, and I want to make people happy. I want to reach out to people and I want to give them a laugh. I want to give them, something to look at. So thank you so much for always being there. I appreciate it. Now, so in today's show, we're going to talk about our Montecito Royals, and we're also going to talk about the other Royals across the pond. And but I'm going to start off first with Kate on the cover of the Daily Mirror. What were these people thinking? I mean, I don't know what to say about this, but I think this was purposely done. I mean, they have Kate looking like she has aged 30 years in advance. And I don't know if it is their joke of showing us what our queen consort, so-called queen consort, would look like in 30 years from now once Charles gives up the throne. But I know this did not settle well. I know that does not go down very well with the palace. I mean, this is purposeful. The reason why I say this is purposeful is because there is a little caption below Kate, and we have a little image of Chucky. We also have images on the cover as well that looks perfectly fine. So I am convinced that the Daily Mirror purposely did that to Kate. And I have a theory about this, and I don't know if I'm correct, but I always know when you make deals with the devil always has to come for his pay. Okay? And apparently, or, what I think is that a story was promised to the Daily Mirror. We also on the Crown how there are two set of people that are running the palace, the courtiers and the press. So I have a strong feeling that a story was promised to the Daily Mirror and it was not delivered. And this is their way of payback. This is their way of making Kate and the royal family look really, really, really stupid or really crazy. And I think this is what we're seeing here with Kate on the cover looking like this. I mean, this caused a ruckus on the internet when people saw this. So I think it was purposeful. When you make a deal with the devil is going to come back for his pay, and he is definitely going to show you out. And this is what happened here. So this is our queen, right? Our future queen, and this is what she's going to look like. Well, well, well. I don't know, but a little birdie is telling me this. If this is 30 years from now, 30 years is a very long time, and this is not going to happen. This woman can keep waiting for, the role of queen, and she just can keep waiting because it's not going to happen. Eventually, the people of England is going to revolt and say, We don't want a monarchy. I could see it happening. It is so obvious in front of us, you know. Um, but anyways, we'll come back to the royals on the other side of the pond. But you know what I'm here for is, you know, for Princess Meghan, Prince Harry, Lily, Archie, and Mama Doria. I really don't care too much about what these people over there do, but you know, you cannot help yourself because it was just really, really hilarious. And anyways, on Veterans Day, we see Harry in Oahu. That's a small island in the Hawaiian island chain. And apparently he was at Pearl Harbor. And I saw in people, they said that he was there on a personal visit. So the people and them that were there that took the pictures of him said that Harry was really nice, and I do not expect anything less. Everybody who has met Meghan, who has met Harry, they've always had beautiful things to say about them, how kind they are and how sweet they are. And you know, a lot of the times we see in the press that, you know, they want to give us a different narrative of how Harry and Meghan is, but the everyday people that come in contact with Harry and Meghan, the people that matters that come in contact with them, always say how nice and kind they are on or they were during the time that they met them. So I'm only listening to them. So apparently Harry was getting a tour of the area of Pearl Harbor, and you know, he was really nicely dressed. And I'm not surprised that Harry was really nicely dressed because, you know, Harry's a military man. He's been in the military for he served 10 years in the military, 2 tour of duty in Afghanistan. So if he's going to go somewhere and represent his fellow mates, you know, I know he's going to look in tip-top shape. He's going to look respectable, and that's the reason why he came in a suit. You know, people thought on the internet that he was there for some, you know, engagement or something like that, and you know, he was well dressed and stuff like that. But I know Harry would never come into a place like that and not look appropriate because he has so much respect. And so that's it. So on Veterans Day again, so Harry was at Pearl Harbor on Veterans Day, and he also posted an image on Archwell Foundation. That is the foundation that he and Meghan has together. So that was posted there, and it had a beautiful note. And the image that they put up, the photo that they put up, was Harry and Meghan was in it, and it was during the last Invictus game at The Hague. So that was just a beautiful black and white photo. And remember that Meghan had this white suit on her, so that's how I know where it was taken. And Harry also mentioned in the note that they put out with the photo, saying that we're proud to work with so many organizations that support veterans and military families, and they listed the military families, and one of them is the Invictus Games, and everybody knows that Harry founded the Invictus Games, and that came about when he came to the United States to see the Wounded Warrior Games. And so he got this idea rolling that he could create a game, you know, that you know, that supports you know, servicemen of the military, you know, supports our vets. And he also listed the Mission Continues, Tim Rubicon, the Greatest Generations Foundation, and Scottish Little Soldiers. And I know a lot about Scottish Little Soldiers. And how do I know about Scottish Little Soldiers? Because when I think it was in 2019 in the fandom, we had a fundraiser for 2 organizations in honor of Harry's first Father's Day. And so Scottish Little Soldiers was one of them, and the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. and we raised a total of about $13,000 that had to be split between Scotty's Little Soldiers and the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. And what Scotty's Little Soldiers do is they provide support for children who has lost a parent or parents in the military, whether it's their mom or their dad in the military, and that support is provided all the way into adulthood. So it's a wonderful, wonderful organization. And my job in the fandom was to make a video to promote the fundraiser. And if you look on my YouTube channel somewhere, I posted the video is posted there, and the picture that I'm showing you right now, it looks the video looks just like it. So speaking of Scotty's Little Soldier, on Remembrance Day, which is a day that the UK recognizes, their vets and, soldiers that have been lost or during, various wars. Harry sent out a letter to Scottish Little Soldiers, and it was such a touching letter. I read that letter. I am telling you, I read that letter 5 times or more, because I'm thinking, when I saw that letter, I thought that if Harry's book is anything like this letter, it's going to help a whole lot of people, because that letter is so touching. What touched me most about this letter is when Harry said, "Whenever you need a reminder of this, I encourage you to lean into your friends at Scottish Little Soldiers." Harry knows the importance of support, being able to have that support around you is key, especially during times when you're grieving and mourning for somebody that you love so dearly as a parent. "One of the ways I've learned to cope," he said, "has been through community and talking about grief. And I couldn't be more grateful and relieved that you have amazing people walking beside you throughout your journey." So Harry understands, well, not understand, but their motto, the Sussex's motto, is community. It's a village. It's everybody coming together and helping to solve whatever the problem is. Everybody coming together and comforting each other. And that is what that makes the day goes by. That is what that makes it easier. Okay? And he also talked about, the idea of having somebody to talk about whatever that is troubling you, whatever that you're feeling. And Harry is a champion of mental health, seeking out help for, whatever your mental burdens are, whatever is bothering you. So I cannot imagine another person writing this letter. This letter is an incredible, sweet, sweet letter. And I know these kids will frame that letter, because that letter is so powerful. It has a message in it. It has a message of hope. It has a message of community. It has a message of unity. It has a message of support. This is a dynamic letter. It is just beautiful to read. So speaking of letters, Harry also sent a letter of congratulations to a family that participated or was a recipient of the Well Child Award. They were supposed to go to that award, but once the Queen passed away, they canceled, and they never got to go. But since then, Harry has done Zoom meetings with the families, and he apologized so much to them, because he really felt terrible that he couldn't be there. So now you see he's still continuing to reach out to the different families that were supposed to be there and didn't get the opportunity to meet with him. So well, not supposed to be there. I said that wrong. It he's still reaching out to families that came, but the fact is he wasn't there and they didn't get to meet him. So that's what I should have said. Um, so it's just I wouldn't want to be a part of any other fandom than the fandom of the Sussex Squad, because it's Harry and them is just the gifts. It's just a gift that just keep giving. And the World Kindness Day, I don't know if it was last Sunday or if it was or if it's going to be this Sunday, but Harry nominated somebody for World Kindness Day, and I think that was through Hello Magazine, and the person's name is Baroness Beban Kidron, and she has a non-for-profit organization called Five Rights Foundation. And Five Rights Foundation works to change technology laws and empower young people to create healthier, safer, and better internet. So if you remember, a few weeks ago, Harry was on a Zoom call, and the whole meeting of the Zoom call was about, protecting young people on the internet. And I guess, she's probably working hand in hand with Harry, and so he nominated her for this award. So Meghan was also recognized too for World Kindness Day, and Hello Magazine listed a couple of things that makes her a kind person, particularly her fight for women's empowerment, for supporting women and advocating for women. And some of the things they listed were her podcast, which exposes the tropes that hold women back, her support for paid parental leave, her support for the Iranian women that are protesting in Iran against the injustice against women, and her support for Smart Works as well. So we all know what Smart Works is. Smart Work is this organization that give women an attire to go on interviews, or they provide these outfits for women to go on interviews, because we all know when you are dressed and you feel good about yourself, you have your clothes is clean, nice and ironed, and it's attractive, and you put it on and you go out there, you feel confident, you feel like you can take on the world. And not only do they provide these outfits for women to go to interviews, but they also these women get, if they land a job, they get a certain amount of outfits that could last them up to 3 months. Okay, so they get 3 months worth of clothing for them to go to work until they get their feet on the ground. So this Smart Works organization is a tremendous organization, and in return you can see how meaningful it is, because what happened is that Meghan, in return, she nominated the founder of SmartWorks. Also, guys, I saw on the internet that there was a pair of Manolo Blahnik's shoes, and it says here, just autographed one of my favorite pairs of Rachel Zane heels to be auctioned for an organization called Shoe Revolt. Check it out, so on and so on. But apparently they're saying that Meghan autographed the shoes to be that is going to be auctioned off, and it has a beautiful signature here. And I know Meghan really writes really nice like that, so it could be true. I found it on the internet, on on Twitter, and that's what it says. So apparently whoever got it, they got it from Instagram. So I hope they make a lot of money, because the fact that Meghan did it, it's probably going to a good cause, and she's hoping that money is raised for that cause. Now, Prince Harry's travel list organization is really growing, and one of the companies that joined on the coalition to curb carbon emission is Travelport, and Travelport will be joining Booking.com, Skyscanner, Trip.com, TripAdvisor, Visa, as well as Amadeus. All of them, they're working all together to help curb carbon emission in our environment, and not only carbon emission in the environment, but also when families go on on their holidays, what they do, they provide ways that they can sustain the environment while they are there. They teach them about or they encourage them to practice certain measures that helps the environment. So remember that skit Harry was in not too long ago. It was really cute, and he had the t-shirt called girl dad on it. And so he had the skit, and he was just showing how people can really sustain the environment. So that's certainly a good cause, and he founded this organization, Travelers, in 2019. Let's see what we have here again. Yes, I was just a little disturbed the other day when I was, sort of surfing the internet, and I heard somebody talking about how, Jordan Peterson violated Meghan on Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan, who's always looking for trouble, who behaves like a stalker to Meghan, who behaves like a jilted lover. He probably met Meghan twice in her lifetime, and all of a sudden he thought that he was going to be getting stories out of Buckingham Palace. He thought Meghan was going to be his pipeline in Buckingham Palace, and she stayed away from him. She didn't have anything to do with him, and he's been wailing ever since. But anyways, Meghan, on one of her podcasts, she had a songbite of Jordan Peterson saying, "Oh, men cannot help crazy women." And remember, one of the tropes that Meghan had on her podcast, one of the archetypes was crazy. And so she played that. So here comes Piers Morgan asking Jordan Peterson what he thought of what Meghan said. Let me play the clip.
Meghan Markle, Prince Harry's wife, who does this podcast, Archie podcast, or Archetypes it's called, which she seems to perennially play the victim, the female victim of all outrages. And your name got dragged into this. Let's take a listen to what she said.
Raise your hand if you've ever been called crazy or hysterical. Or what about nuts, insane, out of your mind, completely irrational?
I don't think that men can control crazy women.
The use of these labels has been drilled into us from movies and TV, from friends and family, and even from random strangers. And the fact is, no one wants this label.
What did you make of that, Jordan, to be suddenly appearing on Meghan Markle's podcast as a villain?
The first thing I make
calling women crazy
is that the first thing I make of it is that her voice drips with the same falsehood that the voice of Kamala Harris drips with. It's this sanctimonious, faux compassionate, talking down to her audience and trying to be sure that we're all really on the same compassionate page here, and we're all being victimized by terrible forces that are arrayed against us, and none of that's really fair. And it just grates on me. And
so this is what he said. But Jordan Peterson is a psychologist, and I just find that for a psychologist that he behaved inappropriately. I know they're saying, Piers Morgan used this as an opportunity to come back at Meghan, but I think it was all planned, if you ask me. And sometimes you have psychologists giving patients advice, but sometimes, or most times, it's the psychologist that really needs the help in the situation, because this man, as a psychologist, he has no business mocking Meghan the way he did and trying to drag Camilla in his nonsense. And one thing I know about Jordan Peterson is he's a very jealous man. And the reason why I say he's a jealous man is that he has been wailing against Justin Trudeau. That is the Prime Minister of Canada. And I don't know if you remember that Megan had Sophie Trudeau on her show, and she's friends with with Justin and Sophie Trudeau. And this man, I know that he's envious of the position that Justin Trudeau has, which is the Prime Minister of Canada. And all he does is talk about Justin Trudeau. He is obsessed with Justin Trudeau. Everything that man sleeps, eats, and drinks Justin Trudeau. He is just thinking about him non-stop because he wishes he was in a position that Justin Trudeau is, because Justin Trudeau doesn't just have a seat at the table and is on YouTube like myself. Justin Trudeau is the head of the table. So that is what that gets Jordan Peterson very angry, and he's such a vengeful and hateful man that he would stoop so low to mock Megan and to join the likes of Piers Morgan to talk about Megan in such a low way and to mock her voice. What man does that? I don't understand it. But anyways, to each his own. Anyways, moving on. I wanted to talk about William during the Remembrance Day service. I mean, he was laying a riff down, and this guy, he's in a constant state of perpetually clenching his jaws. I don't know what that is all about. It's sort of weird. I don't know. He's constantly clenching his jaws. I don't know if this is something. Anyways, and then we had Kate, and I had seen a magazine that said Kate is trying to find her voice, and I was like, this is pathetic. This woman has been on the world stage now for 20 years, and you're telling me that she is trying to find her voice. Princess of Wales is finding her voice, but still has time for sweet little moments. Here she is giving a child a flower, a puppy, or something like that. So I'm saying to myself, she does have a voice, because they said the brooch that she was wearing during the remembrance service cost £14,000. So she does have a voice to ask for something like that, or to get something like this. That I don't know about brooches. There's some people that like brooches, but to me, brooches is an accessory that adds nothing to a woman's attire. It doesn't make her more attractive. It doesn't do anything. So I'm saying, to buy something like that, maybe it's diamond. It's just a waste of money that could have gone to a better cause, I think. So that's my opinion there. And yeah, so I also saw an article in People magazine where Jane Goodall said that Harry wanted to raise Archie in Africa. Can you believe that Archie could have been in Africa instead of Montecito? Well, okay, let me not get those African people started. You remember when Megan said that she was 43% Nigerian, that they started claiming her? So I don't want to get them started again. You hear me? You African people, I don't want to get you all started. I don't want to give you guys any hope that Meghan and Harry's coming to Africa. They're for us. They're going to stay here in the United States. I keep bothering the African people. I don't mean that, people. I really don't mean that. For a matter of fact, in the beginning, I really thought that at some point when, Meghan was being, bothered in England, I really thought that they were going to Africa. I didn't think that they would have ended up in America, because I know Africa is dear and special to Harry. He spent a lot of his life there, especially when his mom passed away, and that's the place he said he fell in love with Meghan. So I know Africa is really meaningful to him, and I could have betted any amount of money saying that that's where they were going to go, but they came over here. So that Jane Goodall, she said exactly what I was thinking. Anyways, let's talk about some of the things that is coming up for Meghan and Harry in the near future. So on November 15th, we're gonna have the 10th episode of Archetypes, and on November 22nd we have the 11th episode, and then November 29th we have The Power of Women, an evening with Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. That's the that's that that's the gathering they're gonna have in Indianapolis or in Indiana. And then on November 29th we're gonna have Archetypes episode 12, and on December, we don't know exactly when in December we're gonna have the docu-series, Netflix docu-series of Harry and Meghan, and they can always change it, so it's not a set date, but they did say that it would be coming out around December. And on December 6th we have the Ripple of Hope Award gala, and then the People's Choice Awards on December 6th. We don't know if Harry, I saying Harry, oh my goodness, what am I saying, Harry? We don't know if Meghan is going to win for Archetypes, but it would just be really nice. It would be like in your face to all the haters out there. And on January 10th, Spear is set to be released, so I cannot wait. I will be getting my copy once Spear comes out. So those are the things that are happening. Okay, so take care, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and we'll see you again. Bye.